Buckle up. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Yeah. Yeah. And I cannot see the chat. Hello, and welcome in, everyone. We're happy to be here on this beautiful Wednesday night for Girls Night In. So we'll give you a few minutes there. I just got my own notification that we're live.
Yay. Oh, so did I.
Okay. There we go. So
No,
we'll
Jim?
give a few minutes for people to
You said you
pop
don't
in,
see it?
No,
and we'll
no,
get.
I can see it now.
He can see it now.
You got us, Jim? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Jim, can you hand me my earbuds so I can hear her better? It won't affect us talking. It won't affect my microphone, but I'm having trouble hearing you as well. I guess I could make the phone louder.
Yeah.
Would that just be a stupid idea, right?
And let me go grab my tablet so
Okay.
I can read the chat. The chat's not popping up. Ask Jim if he can type in the chat, and then I can see if it'll appear on here.
Okay.
He will. Please.
He's going
just type
for
in.
it.
Yeah, just put hi in.
Just put hi. Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah, popped up.
You see it, Rebecca? Because he said he popped up.
There we go. Yep.
Okay.
I got it.
Awesome.
I got it. Yep. So, but
If
this
you're
will be
coming in now,
a fun night. You know, we just had our inauguration of our new president.
yes.
President Donald J. Trump took office. So whether you're for him or against him, he is our president. So, right? And we need to, you know, like in this country, some countries, the presidents and the royals are just for formality and they don't really do anything. In our country, the president does do things. You know, the president does have power.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
we do have to pay attention as to what's going on with our government and be involved. You know,
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of people that complain about things, yet they don't even vote.
Yeah,
You know, they always say, "What does it matter?" It does matter.
it does matter. Yep.
It
Sometimes
matters a lot.
sometimes as little as 10,000 people, which is just 2,000 people in each state, which is roughly like, I don't know, one or two people in each, uh, you know, depending on the size of the state, of course, with each district. And they don't realize, especially bigger states like Texas and California, that every vote does matter. I know that they're kind of like, I don't know, a lot of people are really done with um, the electoral college. They're like over it. But
Mhm.
I mean, there is benefits to it these days. But there's also still, I understand why it's frustrating. It doesn't
Mhm.
have the same purpose it did, 200 years ago when we first
Oh,
became a
totally.
nation.
Jerry, you have to fix your mic. You're kind of muffled, honey.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'll probably have to take this off. I was just trying to hear you better.
Okay.
better? Yeah.
Much better. Yes.
Okay.
Hi, Mary.
I didn't want to
Welcome
get
in.
feedback on Jim's tablets. That's why I was.
Oh, you did kind of-
No, you're okay.
Mary Ramirez is here, and she said, "Jerry, you look so cute."
If
Oh
you're
no,
just joining,
I'm sorry.
Rebecca.
She didn't say Jerry, you look so cute. She said, Jerry, did you vote?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Well, this year technically I didn't. Because me and Mom figured we were going to vote 100% opposite, and since we were both not feeling good, we did not go to the polls. Jim just went as the, like we canceled each other out. Let's put it that way. But I have always voted in every election, even the ones that every 2 years. Even I never miss an election day normally, but I really wasn't feeling good still on election day.
Oh, bless your
But
heart.
yeah, since Mom wasn't feeling good either, we decided to just like stay home and cancel each other out. And Jim went by himself.
Mm-hmm.
I usually post my really cute picture of me and Jim in the polling place with our little stickers on.
Oh my God.
They did move my polling place this year to a place that ended up being a little bit less handicap accessible, so they would have to come out to the car, which I guess wouldn't have been bad, but it's just different,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they changed it.
You're as dorky as we are, that we
Oh, yeah.
take our picture at the polling place and we save our stickers.
Yep.
So I have a book with all of our stickers in them.
Jim said they're in his wallet. On your wallet? Oh, okay. I used to put them on the back of my cell phone until it was like time to get a new cover. Or
time to vote
because
time to vote again. So, well, can you, since our topic tonight is Trump 2025, what do you expect? Can you tell me what you are expecting or what you're concerned about
Me?
with this coming year? Yes.
I guess I'm expecting more of what we got 8 years ago. For me, that's unkept promises. That's things that we hoped he wouldn't do because he said he wouldn't do it, but he did them anyway. So I hope that that's not the case this time. I think the big difference is he's not going to have to worry about being reelected, unless he does want that rule change, because he has mentioned having that rule changed too. And I know it's not really a rule. It's just almost like a courtesy. What they called it something. So it's not a rule that a president can only serve for 8 years, 2 terms. It's actually, there is no limit to a president's terms, but it's sort of like an unwritten rule or an unspoken rule, or I think it's like a gentleman's agreement almost, they call it, which is kind of funny because we've only had men presidents so far. So, oh well. But I don't really expect much different than what he promised. The bad promises, like I shouldn't say the bad promises, the promises of things like I want to, it's funny because I don't want to put it out there because then sometimes you manifest things to come true. Does that make sense? Like sort of like the new Department of Efficiency. The Department of Efficiency has already stated, the people who are put in charge of the Department of Efficiency, or will be, have already stated how they want to cut back on VA medical and, those types of expenses. And it's really odd that usually when you think of the Republican Party, you mostly think of pro-military. And I'm concerned for my mother-in-law because she gets VA benefits, and that's sort of half of her income. Half is Social Security and half is VA benefits. So I kind of worry about if they cut further than just medical, and she also has VA medical as well. I'm concerned about my Medicaid and my Social Security. I know it's funny because a lot of times we see politicians run on not cutting Medicare, not cutting Social Security, or not cutting Medicaid. Medicare and Social Security, not cutting Medicare, but they cannot really cut them because they don't belong to them. The Social Security is not a government program. That is a people program. Like, we pay into Social Security and Social Security pays us back. And how we get the money from Social Security is because new people are paying into Social Security. And this is the cycle that's been going on since they established this program. Back, I think, in the 40s.
Amazing.
I think so.
Sorry, I'm just saying hi. Welcome in.
No.
Yes, well,
Hi.
that's true. And Social Security has literally like its own government.
Yeah,
You know
exactly.
what I'm saying? Its
own
own
entity.
system. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Same thing with Medicare. Medicare is, on your what is it? What do they call it? FICA, right? On your, is it FICA? Yeah, on your pay stub. There's always money going into FICA. That's Medicare. So you pay into Medicare, so Medicare can be there for you when you turn 65. That's not something they can take away, or shouldn't be allowed to take away. I'm sure they can do things that are outside of the purview of what they should be doing and can be doing, that kind of thing. But the threat that it always comes to, it always comes to the threat. The things I'm concerned about, and I know we've talked about this privately, are making campaign promises that you can't keep because they're not true. And then as soon as you get elected, turn around and be like, well, I can't keep that promise because, like the groceries, ran on high price in groceries, but president can't do anything about grocery prices unless they put a cap on price gouging. That's the only way. And, when you're a businessman, a multimillionaire businessman, you're not going to put a cap on earnings and those types of things. So it just worries me that so many people just buy all of the lines and don't look in their own research. That's the part that really upsets me, because there's plenty of things. If you're interested in this stuff but don't want to be pushed in either direction, there is always C-SPAN. C-SPAN is always free. C-SPAN is just get to see the floor of the government, whatever is happening, whether it's the House of Representatives, whether it's a committee, whether it's a trial, like a hearing of some sort. It's always there. There's no commentators. It just records it, so you can hear everything firsthand, with your own ears, and you see these things about like the why the prices and inflation went up is that they decided, hey, we had shortages, we had to raise prices because of the pandemic. Why not keep them high and just make more money? I mean, these companies have had record billions of dollars of profit in the last 2 years. And then people want to blame the president like he's got any control over it instead of who it is. The other thing that bothers me about the immigration, I've had this conversation with my cousins. They're like, oh, somebody comes in, he'll work for like $10 an hour. I'm like, well, don't be mad at him. Be mad at the boss who doesn't value your worth at $20 an hour, who wants to make twice as much money off of the back of somebody who'll work for less. Don't be mad at the guy who's going to work for less. Be mad at the boss who's paying him less, who wants to earn more money. It's just something like I don't know that many people think about. You know, if you haven't been in the lesser group, you sometimes forget that the lesser group are struggling people as well.
Right.
You know, it's kind of hard.
We have right now, Jerry, we have 16 people here. I think most are just watching right now, trying to see what we're doing. Arlene, you asked about an auction. There's not an auction tonight. I have an auction on Saturday night, and we haven't scheduled anything definitely for with Jerry. So, but I have an auction on Saturday night, I think like at 9:00 if you want to come back for that. Tonight
I'm getting some stuff together.
Tonight is our talk about President Trump taking office and the things that we are concerned about or looking forward to in 2025. Yeah. So Eclipse says that Jerry is so knowledgeable.
Oh, thank you.
So
yeah, I don't read. I know that sounds terrible. So my brain isn't filled up with fantasy. I just have to like everything I learn, I heard.
Right.
But I also don't believe everything I've heard. I have to go and do my research. You know, when I first moved in, Mom watched Fox News all the time, and she would come up with these things that I'd never heard of. So then I started watching it on my own just to see what she was hearing. And I'd have to go and look up, like, is this true? Like, and, you know, just try to find the sources. And it's funny because I would head down multiple times, probably hundreds of times. I would head down and they would all be like the same, like, you know, the Politico told it to the Washington Post, who told it, like, it would not be like I never heard it come from the person. It was always just, you know, Fox News heard it from I brain fart. The newspaper that's now it's online, but it's sort of like a right-wing newspaper. And then they heard it from, like, it goes down this hole of never really going back to the source of the news. And it would just be like, okay. And then if you do it for other things, you could be like, okay. Every once in a while you find where it came from. You see a clip of the person saying it. But, you know, most of the time it would just be like,
have you noticed, though, that once President Trump was running for election, the first time, when he was running for election, the first time, that I think it was the first time for the American public to see the divisions in the news channels. Oh, yeah. Some channels were pro-Biden, some were pro-Trump, and it was ridiculous because that's all. When we saw the different CNN, MSNBC, Fox, ABC, NBC, CBS, all of them, when they chose their candidate, that's all they covered in a positive light. And I don't think it was fair to the American public. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah.
Like, so if I'm watching one channel, though, Jerry, I want to see both sides. I want to hear the whole story. Not like, say, if I'm watching something that is pro-Biden, and then all you hear is everything that's bad about Trump, and we don't hear the full story. You just get that one side. Then you flip to another channel. That one is pro-Trump. Then you hear that side of the story. But the American public, I think, for the very first time, saw the division in the news channels. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that it was leading up, and I say this, and my Democratic friends get really upset by what I say at first, but let me explain. So I say the president that we had in modern times that was the most diverse, that diversified the country, basically divided the country the most, was President Obama. And I have to stop them because they're like, no, no, no. I said,
I knew you were
here's the
going to say
thing.
that. I knew you were going to say that.
No, well, here's the thing, though. Before President Obama was elected, I don't think people realized how racist they were. I don't think they realized how racist their upbringing was or their thought process. Or, you know, now I have to take like instruction. Like, to be honest with you, before he was elected president, I never saw anybody in a military uniform disrespect the officer, the, what is it called, Jim? The officer in chief? No, the officer in chief. What does the military call him?
For what?
The president.
Commander
In chief. I'm sorry. I've never in all of my, 54 years had seen somebody in a military uniform disrespect the commander in chief like that. It's actually they can get put to jail. They can go to the clink for that. That's actually against the rules. But because he was black and he was against, everybody was against him like this, it made the country really realize. And it took somebody like Donald Trump, who has really, my opinion, has no place in politics and government at all. And not because he is a civilian. It's because growing up in New York, you saw a lot of really stuff, like shady shit that went on that the rest of the country didn't know about. That being said, it took somebody like him who was also as racist and xenophobic and, like, basically they didn't want to say that they were racist, but he said it for them, so it was okay. So we're going to support the guy who thinks the way we think, even though he's saying what we can't say. And that part's really hard because, when you get to someplace, and it was 2008, you think 2008, it's the next millennia, it's the next century, we're going to be so progressive, the whole world is so progressive. And then I feel like in 2016 we just all got pulled back. The reins just got pulled back. And that's the part that was really weird for me. And when MAGA came out, the statement, "Make America Great Again," I was like, great again for who? Like, what decade did you want to make America like again? The 50s, where women were oppressed and home and were popping pills left and right because they were depressed because they all had nothing to do but stay home and be pretty for their husbands? Do you want to go back to the 60s where black people couldn't sit at the same counter as white people? Like, tell me what you think. When was America great for you? The 70s was all the crime, the street crime. New York City's crime wave in the 70s was out of control. Like, when do you want to go back? Like, what do you want to do? It's like that kind of thing. And
take a
I
shower.
could never get a straight answer.
Take a shower is here and says, "May I ask what Jerry's wearing on her head?" Oh,
yes. Rebecca said she was dressing up to as the first lady during Inauguration Day, or to represent her, and I am also dressed up like a first lady on this Inauguration Day. I decided to dress up as Michelle Obama and stay home in my pajamas. But honestly, it's just that I wasn't feeling good. So this is my silk bonnet that keeps my hair shiny smooth.
Mary Ramirez says the problem is there's so many people who don't even know what they're talking about. Then they babble. Then other people pay attention to it, and then getting the mindset, and it's like a rolling snowball. So, and then if anybody else has any comments that you want to put in the chat, again, this is not pro-Trump. It is not anti-Trump. Yeah. So, but if you have concerns or things that you're looking forward to that are positive for 2025, put it in the chat. We'd love to hear what it is. So
I know that on the first, what did he do? 100 executive orders yesterday? Did he sign 100 executive orders or 109 or something? There was a lot of them. But I'm really concerned about going back into the oil industry. Here's the thing that I get. Okay, I understand that even if you don't believe in climate control, that's fine. You don't want to understand the scientists, or you think look, the planet was going to go to shit anyway. Just money-wise, it is so, like, the sun is there for free energy. Why are we still like it's 1875 and we're still digging holes in the ground for oil? That part just blows my mind because I can't wrap my head around that. You know,
Well, but you know what?
yeah.
My opinion is, I think one thing that Donald Trump did do when he was in office before, we were self-sufficient. We weren't
With
relying
what?
on all these other countries for our oil. You know what
Oh,
I'm
we were
saying?
though. Oh, sure we
Not
were.
as not like now. Not like now.
Not like now. We hardly get any oil from anybody now. What do you mean? What do you mean not
So,
by now? Like now?
well, maybe let's not go into that part of it, but
Oh, that's
we'll
okay.
talk
No,
about
I
that
mean,
separately. We weren't, as far as what I found, we weren't
right.
importing as much when he was in office as we are now. But see, my concerns now for 2025 are cost of food, cost of electricity, cost of car insurance. Like my car insurance alone jumped up for 2 vehicles, jumped up $120 a month.
Yeah.
My homeowner's insurance is 4 times what it should be. And then every renewal for the past couple of years, and I know it's going to be going up again. You know what I'm saying? And
Now,
electric
is
bill,
this
water
specifically
bill.
you? I'm sorry. Is this specifically where you live because of like possibly stormage? Like, did
Yes. Yeah.
when you
We're in
when you
Florida.
claim for storm damage, a lot of times your insurance goes up. Period. But
No,
I mean, okay.
wrong. You can have no claim during a storm, no
Oh,
claim
sure.
whatsoever. And everybody's insurance is going to go up.
Oh, yeah, that I knew. I'm just
You know
saying,
what I'm saying?
is anybody else, I guess anybody else in the chat live in an area, because the homeowners insurance hasn't gone up here. We're
Mhm.
not a very highly affected storm area. I mean,
Right.
but
Well,
in New York,
our
when my
two,
father had his mortgage in New York, we were not in a flood zone and he had to bet flood insurance the whole time he had a mortgage.
right. Well, here
Yeah.
I'm in Florida, and California. We are getting hit like mad, and we just simply
Mm,
can't afford this. It's like,
sure.
where is all this extra money supposed to come from every month?
Yeah,
Where is
exactly.
it supposed to come from? And then people that are not working, I'm fortunate that I do, but people that are not working, that are on that fixed income, how are they supposed to survive?
Yeah,
So
I,
my hope
I
is
do.
with him taking office, I really think that I wished that President Obama would have done more and jumped in faster with something, even
Oh, President Biden?
electric bills. President Biden, yes, when he was
Oh,
in
you said
office.
Obama. I'm sorry. I just want to double check.
Oh, did I? I'm sorry.
Yes, it's
Excuse
okay.
me. President Biden, I wish he would have jumped in and done more. Even if it was another credit for people. I know a lot of people wouldn't save it and use it for food, whatever, but I wish there would have been something to give people some relief.
Towards the
I
end
mean,
of his presidency?
pardon me?
Are you saying towards the end of his presidency?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's where I wish he would have jumped in and said to the companies to stop, to no price gouging. You
Mhm.
know, I know eggs went up because of the bird flu, but everything else went up from the pandemic and never came back down.
Exactly. And
Everything went up and never
just
came back
continued
down.
on. Even
Exactly.
remember, like years ago, you used to be able to go and get your kids a box of cereal. You know what I'm saying? For a snack, they could eat as many times a day as they wanted to. Look at the price of a box of cereal now, or a loaf of
Well,
bread.
I was
Even
gonna say
to
maybe
get
that's
that
where you live.
PBK, it's not costing you pennies anymore.
No,
You
no.
know, so I'm
But you
hoping
still
for.
can tell that the most expensive food is the healthy food. Even with all of that, they still try to. That's a whole conspiracy in itself. We probably won't get into, but trying
Oh
to
my
keep
gosh,
America
yes,
unhealthy with
yes,
the things that are cheaper, like
Mhm.
ramen. You know, people think
Yep,
ramen's so healthy. No, it's not. It's fried noodles. It's carbs, spaghetti
exactly.
that's fried and then
Yep,
boiled and then puts
and then
8,000
literally,
milligrams of sodium on.
yep, and the grease floating in the cup and stuff. It's horrible.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
another big thing for a lot of Americans, nobody's really putting anything in the chat. They're just kind of listening. But if you have any concerns or compliments or things you're looking forward to in 2025, go ahead and put it in the chat. This is, no one's going to bash you
Yeah, no,
or,
we're good.
say, why are you saying this? Because that's what makes America great. We all
Yeah.
have freedom of speech.
Well, we
So,
hope. Yeah, we hope to. That was my big concern with TikTok. And I was like, oh my gosh, they're going to take away TikTok. What's next? Instagram? Well, Instagram now, They're not going to be doing fact checking on Instagram and Meta and Facebook. And that scares the shit out of me, because that's what we had back in 2016, where people would say whatever they want. That's when Russia did diddle in the election by putting out false information all the time. And it was funny because it was so easy to fact check, like yourself, but my friends wouldn't. They just repost and repost and repost and repost. I have a lot of friends who are Republican. Long Island is a very, very Republican place. Surprisingly enough, it's Manhattan and the 5 boroughs that's more Democratic. But Long Island, everybody's a Republican there. And I don't mean everybody, but the Republicans win everything, I should say. You know what I mean? So
Don't you think, though, that with President Trump taking office this time, that he's a different man than he was the first time around?
No, he already took away the law to the price cap on Medicare pharmaceuticals that Joe Biden put in place. No price gouging on Medicare. That was one of the executive orders he did. He signed away that, nope, you can charge whatever you want for Medicare prescriptions. And that's right. Like, that's day one. You know, like, what else are they going to do to the low income and the poor? And it's scary. I'm worried. I mean, people talk about it, but I'm kind of really, really worried. And how about everything he talked about that poor bishop? She had such a beautiful sermon, and then he went on and blasted her and say that's nothing. You know, it's so hard. It's what did you say,
Bishop Buddy, that they're Marianne Buddy, that he's wanting an apology from right now. Yeah, I saw that.
Jimmy, put the lights back on up there.
Well, but you know what?
Hold on. Alexa, turn on bedroom lights at 100%. Sorry,
Okay.
my lights dimmed because it's 8 o'clock.
No, that's okay.
There you go.
But, you know, I think the thing is, though, that whether you're pro-Trump or anti-Trump, we have to give him an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? He's only been in office. I've only been here at Mar-a-Lago resting for a couple days now. And
just one.
I
mean, technically, right?
Well, we've got to give him a
partied all night in Washington on Monday until early in the morning. So I'm sure you stayed in Washington on Tuesday. So probably only just got back.
Well, I had to come. My feet were killing me. I had to come back down here to Boca. It was my heels.
Gotcha.
My heels. They were killing me. But the thing of it is that I think we need to have an open mind. Like for us personally, immigration is a big thing. It's real in my family. Yeah. You know, I mean,
that already started to happen, you said, right?
Yeah.
I didn't hear that today, but you told me
it's on all over the news that they already rounded up several hundred people, and that 1,500 troops were sent to the border. And what a lot of people don't realize, like what you see on the news and you hear on the news, you never think past that. And like in Mexico, through all of this, Mexico has been just as overwhelmed as the United States has been. They do not want all these people tramping through their country to get to a border to another country.
I know.
And if you go to a bus station there, you have to show ID, a passport, a ticket. You know, you can't just buy. That's why so many people walked, because they weren't able to get transportation because they were not legally there. Right. And the signs are posted everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And I never thought until we met people years ago in Mexico that were from Cuba living in Mexico illegally. And so they were paid less because they had no papers.
Right.
And I thought, my gosh, I never thought about that. I only thought about America, you know, people working illegally.
No.
But it happens everywhere. All the Cubans that are
in Puerto Rico, because it's not a state, so they have sovereignty, so there's like different rules, and they go there and they blend right in, because just the accent is only the thing that's different. The language is the same. Well, I personally know this because a friend's aunt married a Cuban who stowed away in a boat to Puerto Rico, and they met and married and had beautiful children.
Well, so, but now we also, though, the United States pays for the public aid system in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
We pay that.
Yeah.
A lot of people do not know that. We pay that.
And then, that's what they're sovereign. Yeah.
But see, there's that myth out there that people that come here illegally get food stamps, get free medical, are getting a check every month. getting a place to stay. And I can tell you, anybody who is here watching or anybody who watches this later, it is not true. It is not true. I have
Nope.
illegals in my family that have lived here for years, scattered all over the United States. They have gotten zero for free. They work their butts off like slaves for every dime they've got. When they go to a doctor, they pay full price. They get a prescription, they pay full price.
Yep.
If you enter this country and you are from a communist country like Cuba, like China, guess what? You get food stamps. You get a check every month. You will get help with housing assistance, possibly, depending on where you're going to. But if you are a Mexican, or from wherever else that is not a communist country, you get zero for free in this country. Zero.
Yeah.
Like the big myth out there that people get Social Security also if they're illegal.
No.
And call them yourself if you want. Call Social Security Administration. There's nothing free unless you are a legal green card holder or an American citizen. Period.
Honestly, Rebecca, too, some people who are undocumented or don't have proper documentation who still work on the books and they pay into Social Security and will never receive it. They pay into Medicare and will never receive it. The other thing is anybody who's actually like me in the last 4 years who's actually tried to get assistance from the government because I have a deathly ill, I'm going to die. Like, that you can't get anything without being a doctor. Like you have to just getting person who's lived her whole life. I worked for the first 40 years of her 30 years of her first, who worked 35 years out of her 50-year life and paid into the system, had trouble getting my assistance. And I've got stage 4 cancer metastasized to my bones. And who knows, it could be any moment, any day, or it could be 6 years from now. But it was it was impossible to get help. And when I finally got the help, they were like nitpicking every penny and they take it back. And you think you're going to get like your budgeted amount because, okay, I have it all paid back now. Like this was me this year. But I finally got my first full check from Social Security. I get SSI, which is for people who are like blind and disabled. It's not disability insurance because I didn't work close to when I filed. I didn't work close enough to when I filed for disability. So I get like SSI for the blind and those types of things. So I finally got my first full $948 in December, only to be accompanied by a letter saying, hey, we paid you this much too much last year. And starting in January, we're going to start having you pay it back again. So frustrating. I just paid back $4,000 that you overpaid me, but you told me I was entitled to it. So I did not spend it. And it took me when I started it on February of 2023, I started getting, and I just finished it in December of 24. I finished paying it back in November of 24. I finally finished paying it back. And now it starts all over again. And because we got a cost of living increase of $19, they saw it fit that I would cut down my food stamps by $119 because that math don't math. But anybody who's been here and had to struggle as an American citizen who's born and bred, who worked her whole life, to see that how hard it is to get assistance, for a fact, there is nobody. The only exception I can tell you is WIC. If you are pregnant or you have a newborn baby, no matter your status, you are entitled to WIC, but it's only for the first year of the baby's life and while you're pregnant. As soon as you deliver that baby, even if you decide to breastfeed it, you don't get any more healthy food help. That's it. And it's not even, if you've ever seen anybody with WIC, or if you shop in the grocery store and you see certain labels have WIC hanging from them, they can't just pick whatever they want. You can't, like, a lot of complaint with food stamps is people go and buy lobster tails. Well, then they won't have money to eat the rest of their month. That's their stupid budgeting. That's not you or here. But with WIC, you can only buy WIC products, like Cheerios.
Well, with any program that you apply for, though, of course, you have to show Social Security, driver's license, state ID, whatever. But our concern is with our family that, there are kids in the school systems that, like, say, let me give you an example. Say a sister-in-law of mine. A sister-in-law of mine is illegal. Her husband is illegal. A few of her children are illegal. A few are not illegal. but now they're even talking about taking their birthrights away. The fear of them being picked up at schools, which they've already shown on the news that is one place
Yeah.
they're going to go and get them. And a few years ago, they already came into the schools, and because we got the phone call, should we fill out this paperwork? Because they had said, if you fill out this paperwork, we might give you citizenship. And even though I said, no, do not do it, just for that hope of wanting to be an American, they did it.
They did it.
And yes, so many illegals are paying taxes every single week that they're never going to see.
Yeah.
And
They'll benefit from it all.
well, but they're being taken advantage of and stuff. That's another show. But here's our concern is what if and the thing is, with family members, and I don't want to name them, even when all of this stuff was going on before with all these deportations and stuff, all the way back, President Obama quietly deported several million people. He did that. It continued on it continued on up until this day. They keep getting rid of them. But here's the thing. Family members that we have that were wanting to go ahead and just leave, they can't do that. Because once they're here and they're illegal, and then you're wanting to leave, you're detained.
Yeah.
And when you're detained, right, but when you're detained and put in the immigration jail, you can be there for a very long, long time.
Yeah.
So they're literally stuck. There's plenty of people that would go ahead and pack up.
Biden did. Yeah. One good thing that Biden did, I'm sorry, I thought you were done. We got a little thing, was that he put more judges there for immigration judges down in the districts around the Texas border, and I think Arizona too. But yeah, just to have more immigration judges listen to these people's case so that they don't have to be there as long as they were in the past. And like, that's one good thing I think that he did as far as the immigration was concerned.
Well, here's our fear. Our fear, though. My husband is dark skinned. He's as Hispanic gets. You could just look at him and see this is a Hispanic man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What if he's working? What if he's out shopping? What if he's walking the dog and he is picked up and taken to a detention center? He is legally an American citizen. He has paid more taxes in his lifetime than most people will ever make, ever. He's paid that into our government.
Yeah.
Yet
exactly.
when he became a citizen, his thing that says he's an American citizen is like a college diploma. It's not like a little, an ID.
It's not a card you can carry in your wallet.
Yeah, it's not a little stamp on his driver's license or anything. So he would be thrown in with everyone else and have to be processed. What if they start these massive gathering people up and my husband is in that group? What if he's there for months and I've got, you know what I'm saying? That's our fear.
Yeah, of course.
So,
and how do you know
this
if he's
is an
ever
American.
get in touch with you? Right. Exactly.
This is an American afraid to be caught up in it.
Yeah. It's very scary.
Like, if they take him, I'm lost. I depend on him so much. I'm lost.
Yeah, I know.
And yet it will happen. I guarantee you there are going to be Americans that are going to be tangled up in it. They're going to gather them all up and ask questions later. Once you're in the processing centers.
And my biggest concern is my bestie in Texas, her children are Puerto Rican and dark Puerto Rican. Like they're dark and they're born in New York. So it's not like from a man who was born in America. Like it's not even, they're like third generation, but they are very dark, especially in the summertime. They darken up a lot. They all look Hispanic. Mm-hmm. I'm afraid for them. They're right there in Texas and like you are in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what are you voting for this guy for? And he wants to swoop you up by the color of your skin. Because here's what I would like to, a point I want to make. The difference, and it's not an anti-Trump thing, but it is a concern and it is a misrepresentation of facts. When President Trump became, when he was running for president the first time, is what I was trying to say, the largest population of undocumented immigrants in the United States were Asian. Chinese people would come here on a visa to visit their family and friends and never go home. And it was the largest, but he attacked because of the color of the skin. He went right to the color of the skin and the the threat that there's these gangs out there. Not like there's not, Italian mobsters or, Russian gangs or Spanish. I mean, there's all kinds of gangs, but why are we focusing on Mexican gangs that are United States Mexicans? They're not even like Mexicans. Like, it's just one of these things. So, that's where I say it is more about racism than it is about illegal immigration, because you're not even focusing on the largest number. Why aren't we protecting our northern borders? In 2011, in 2001, September 11th, as I was trying to say, 9/11, 2001, every single one of those terrorists came across from Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we not protecting our border as much?
Yes, there's been a lot that have come from Canada because of how hot the things have been at the border with Mexico. So yes, it's happened.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's because of the color of their skin. And that's why we're focusing on the southern border, because that's where Mexicans come from and that's where brown people come from. We don't care about what's happening to the neighbors to the north, because they're white people and they blend in with us and they'll pay taxes and they'll be privileged like everybody else. And it's just, that's when it's racist and not just protecting America. Does that make sense?
What we're hoping for, that there will be human compassion and understanding. You know what I'm saying? That's
what the bishop was praying for. If
people are gathered up and stuff, and again, I mean, there's such a large Hispanic community all over the country. They're everywhere.
Sure.
And the thing is, what people don't realize when they're talking about, go ahead and deport them, they don't need to be here. You better stop and think before you do that, because these are the builders of homes, of companies. You know what I'm saying? They're your farmers and stuff.
Right. You think the grocery prices are high now? Deport all of the labor. Exactly.
Yeah. They do all the work that nobody else wants to do.
Absolutely.
There are companies, and I could name them, but I won't, right here in Florida, that subcontract. And because they're subcontracting, they don't care who's on that crew. Nope, and they know exactly what they're hiring, and they know how much money they're saving, and they're getting house after house after house after house after house built on very cheap labor. There is no way that, especially when you're in hot weather in Florida, there is no way, unless you are somebody that comes from a climate that is used to the heat and humidity, that you are going to work in those conditions.
Absolutely.
My husband's poor broken body is from being out and doing that. And like I said, he is an American, but our fear is that he's not going to be treated as an American, because of the color of his skin. But I am hopeful, Jerry, that with President Trump, we're optimistic. You know what I'm saying? We have to be.
But I don't know why you're saying that. The reason I'm asking this is because on day one, he's already done what he said he was going to do. And he's just the first day. He's already scooped up people because of the color of their skin. How could you have hope when on day one, someone shows you who they truly are? How do you continue to have hope that they'll change or they'll be different? Or
what our hope is that, like, in these first few weeks, when everything is just snowballing and happening, that from maybe some mistakes that might be made in this beginning, that they'll stop and they'll change it. I mean, he made a lot of campaign promises to people that he wants to uphold. But again, I'm hoping that human compassion will play a big role in that. And that he also said, when he sat down to sign all of those, God is first, then religion. And he said, well, I guess family is third. So if God is first, then I'm hoping and praying that, again, he will say how these people need to be treated. Now, I can tell you, under the Biden administration, with our friends that crossed from Cuba and they came into Texas, married couple, they were separated, put in a oh, I'm sorry, I'm missing the chat. Hi, B Lady. B Lady says that she also has a farm in New York. That's their main home, and they're here in Florida for the winter. Why? We got ice and snow today.
Yes,
Oh,
exactly.
so you're
Poor
up in
thing.
that part of Florida, sweetheart. Jerry, is your heat on again? Jim was wearing a hat and glove on his live. Okay. Hi, Miss Idaho. Okay.
Yeah,
And
it's
Arlene
just
says if okay, Arlene, we don't need comments like that, but thanks for stopping by. So here, let's see here. Nope. Let's see. B lady. They are dumbing down the schoolwork. Yes. B lady, the US pays. Whoops, I missed her thing. Okay.
how dumb do
B
you think
lady
our
said,
curriculum would be without a Department of Education?
okay. The B lady said she taught the public schools and saw how many illegal students caused the level of work to be lowered.
How?
I'm reading I'm
I'm
reading our
asking her.
chat.
I'm not asking you.
Okay.
Sorry, I was asking her. How did she see? Like, how was the level of work being
Okay.
lowered?
Now here, Olivia James says the recent illegal migrants got free housing, cash cards, food, healthcare. Ask me how I know. Olivia,
How do you know?
yeah, they are not. And she says, I'm not talking about legal migrants. That is correct. There are illegals that come in from certain countries that are getting
Right.
things for free.
Sure.
Rebecca,
But
you
there's
are
also
doing a
programs.
disservice to
But
your channel. Only comes air only comes out of her mouth. Arlene, I don't know who you are, but obviously you're not a fan of Jerry. And here's the thing, sweetheart. We said in the beginning, this is going to be a positive show where we live in America, all of us, and we're going to be polite and intelligent. See, that's the key there. We're going to be
yeah,
polite and intelligent to each other and feel comfortable that people can voice their opinions and we
that's
can
it.
all still be friends. So
Yeah,
coming in
and you can
here,
fact check me.
but but coming in
Yeah,
here and making
yeah.
comments about Jim and Jerry, obviously you've got some kind of fixation there. This is not that program. Okay. We know right now the country is kind of in an uproar in a good way on one side, bad way in another. So that's why I decided to do this show. Okay. We are not going to waste time on just making comments about people. It's derogatory, it's mean, it's not godly, and it's not acceptable. And you,
It's also probably
sweetheart,
not unique.
well, and you're not putting yourself in a positive light. So
Right.
when somebody is
So
not
that's
for you, move on. And I'm
right.
saying that sincerely, move on. Like if you're not a fan of Jerry or you're not a fan of mine or a friend, oh my gosh, there are millions of channels you can choose from. Millions of them. No, I'm being serious, Jerry.
But they,
So
yeah, I know, but they won't give you the attention. They won't give her the attention that you're giving her right now.
yeah,
Just like,
but
bye,
well,
Felicia.
because I just want to explain it. I
Yeah,
mean, I'm a Christian. I believe in God
I
and I
know.
believe in kindness, but we're gonna
Absolutely.
we're gonna be kind here tonight. So Arlene, I appreciate
Yeah.
you coming by, and you're welcome to stay, but you're just not gonna be mean. Okay?
There we
Thank
go.
you.
How's that? Now I
Oh,
can
that's
see.
beautiful. Okay, and then Christine says, what about all the criminals, murderers, drug lords who come across illegally? I'm thankful for Trump. Biden did nothing for us. MAGA. Well, Christine, I
Well,
agree with you.
okay.
We do have some bad people in this country that have come from other places and they've done horrible things. We have people in America that are citizens that have done horrible things. I agree with you. It's terrible. I'd hate to be the
But
mother.
it's not the majority. It's like throwing the baby out with the bathwater. You can't say, let's get rid of every person from the Mexican border with a Spanish name because 1/15% of them are criminals and drug lords. Dude, you can't do it. It's not fair. It's not America. That's for sure. It's not the American way.
Okay.
Did I freeze? Oh, Rebecca, I thought you froze.
No,
You
you're
were
on.
reading something.
B lady, the person that is with me, this is Jerry Ann Henson. She has her own channels on YouTube. Mary Ramirez says, well, when they deport everyone, Jim can get a job picking tomatoes. That's actually not true because Jim is allergic to tomatoes. But thank you for that, Mary.
And they don't grow tomatoes here on farms like that. Everybody
Yeah.
around here has personal farms, not commercial farms. You have to go up more further than we live. But
Now,
thank
B
you for your
Lady,
concern. Plus, he's disabled, so that's that.
B Lady is saying that she is concerned about the school system and the toll that the illegal children are taking on the school system. Now, I can remember personally, and I am in my late 50s. I'm about to turn 60 in a couple weeks. I can
Yeah.
remember all the way back to junior high time. So that was what, over 40 years ago? And guess what? We had illegal kids then. And we were kind of jealous
Yeah.
because they were separated from us. Now in some states, they just throw them right in the classes with the English, but they separated them from us and they got field trips all the time. So we were jealous. And the
Wow.
school systems right now are overstressed with everything. And
Well, if you think about it, there has always been an immigration problem in the United States of America since we decided to come in and be the first immigrants. Like, if you think about it, we've come here from other countries. We've taken over lands that belong to other people. Like, we have the right to them. Just like our current administrator promises he wants to take over Greenland. Why? I have no freaking clue. Greenland, as you know, is just a big giant sheet of ice. We learned that in elementary school. Iceland is green and Greenland is ice. And that's because they changed it so people wouldn't go there.
Well, Olivia James wants to know why. Olivia James wants to know why, if my husband is legal, why am I saying this? It's fear mongering. No one said a dark skinned person is going to a cell. Actually, it was said that there's going to be plenty of dark skinned people that are going to be picked up because of them being illegal. And my fear is I have illegals in my family. I've already said that are adults and children that, yes, they are in the United States, all over the country, paying rent, buying food, supporting the economy. Yes, they have no papers. They literally wanted to leave and are trapped because they don't want to go to immigration jail. I am concerned, as is my husband, that when they come here in Florida, ICE has worked our highways for many years. They get out on the roads. They have what they call their scouts, and we've seen it. You'll have a scout on the side of the road. They look for pickup trucks and vans because they know the guys in the morning travel in groups. So a scout will be on the side of the road. He radios to the next one. By the time you're to the third one, they have you pulled over. We know people that have had to get out of their vehicle and they have ran to try and get away versus being taken and put in these jails for months and months and months. So because my husband is dark skinned and could be grouped in with this, yes, it's a real fear for us. But again, we're going to try and stay positive about it. And Olivia, I appreciate your comment, but you know what I'm saying? That I'm being honest. That's how we feel.
Can I touch on the fear mongering thing? The line about fear mongering? Olivia, I am assuming that you voted for President Trump by your comment. But do you realize that his entire campaign was fear mongering? The reason that we have this immigration problem is because of all the criminals that come across from Mexico. And you have Rebecca sitting right there telling you that of the tens and 20s of her relatives that are in the United States, none of them are criminals. Like, you have to look at percentages and you realize that, yes, we could pick bad people out everywhere. Of course, there's bad people everywhere. There's bad people that are born here. There's bad people that have come from the north, that come on planes, that come from far away. They're not all the bad people coming from Mexico. And they're not coming in the droves that they think they are. And that's another thing I would like to touch on if I can. Facts. So during the debate, I watched the debate because I don't have like broadcast TV anymore. I have to watch it like later. I watched the debate live with Robert Reich. Robert Reich is a economist. He works. I think he's Harvard. I think he's an economy teacher in Harvard University. He was also an economist for a couple of presidents. Like, he was the economy special. And he had live fact checking during the debate. And it was obscene the amounts of things that were just coming out of his mouth that were so not true. And it's so easy to find out because all you have to do is like ICE has a website. They have all Homeland Security has a website that shows how many people ISIS got employed, where they're employed. Like, it tells you these statistics and facts, and they're not made up. They're not somebody just spewing some bullshit that they heard before and passing it on as facts. These are the things. These are statistics. You can go on whitehouse.gov and you can see what the achievements of the presidents have been for how many decades that they've had them. Like, if you think, I have friends that'll be like, President Biden didn't do anything. And I printed out 4 pages worth of stuff that he accomplished in the 4 years he was president. And they're not 4 pages, like 4 things, like each page has multiple things on it. Because you hear something and you think it's true. It doesn't make it true. Go find out for yourself. Educate yourself. It's 2025 and that internet is out there for you to educate yourself. Go ahead.
Let's go through the comments real quick, Jerry.
Oh, go ahead.
Because I want to make sure that we get everybody acknowledged. Kat Suzuki wants to know what's a Mexican. What I mean by that is that my husband is an authentic Mexican, born and raised in Mexico. That's what I mean by that. He's the one who always says, I'm a Mexican. So Mary Ramirez says, I'm sorry, but if you really pay attention to the news, it's not the Mexican gangs they're talking about. Well, my husband's not in a gang, but I know what you're talking about. And the cartel from there.
But Rebecca,
I can tell you this.
Tell her what a non-Mexican is. Somebody from like Colombia had came up through Mexico and is crossing the border. That's a non-Mexican. So you said what a Mexican was, but you didn't tell her what a non-Mexican is.
Yeah.
And that's what she means. So a Mexican is somebody born and raised in Mexico who came up from Mexico. A non-Mexican is somebody born and raised in another country who came up through Mexico.
The Chinese, the Haitians, I mean, people from everywhere have passed through Mexico. Olivia says we're focusing on the most dangerous gangs like TDA and the Mexican cartel. Look at the crime starts on those gangs compared to other gangs. You are making racist assumptions. I'm not making any racist assumptions. I am sharing with you what my personal life is. You know what I'm saying?
Wait,
and
how are you making racist assumptions when you're the one saying that they're not all criminals?
Right. Well, as far as the cartel goes, Mexican people that live honest, hardworking lives and stuff, they are concerned and afraid of the cartel as well. They have come into towns, like even the small town that my husband is from, they have now come in and taken over, there. So yes, people are very afraid of them, and the cartel is very real and very powerful.
It's also not just the Mexican cartel. There's cartels in Colombia and in Ecuador and in Guadalajara. Like, there's cartels everywhere. Wherever you can grow drugs without government oversight, Venezuela. Oh my gosh, the crime in Venezuela.
Mary says maybe it's a Mexican that says they're a Mexican. Exactly, Mary. Okay, Jessica, hello. Just stopped by to say hi. Or Joanna. Hi, Joanna. Okay, B lady, I just want to get caught up here. Christine says Trump will control all borders. He is not a racist. Kat says just the media is very different from the Crip Bloods, etc. That is a very foolish comparison. Oh, she's talking to Jerry.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Kat said, Jerry, the mafia is very different from the Crip Bloods, etc. That is a very foolish comparison.
No, it's not. I was born and raised. Excuse me 1 second, Rebecca. Whoever that is, I was born and raised in New York, and I have friends who are mobsters. So it's not a comparison that's at all different.
Okay,
they kill people who don't do what they want to do, or for absolutely no reason whatsoever. It's the exact same, and they have criminal. What are we saying? Criminal
activities,
enterprises, criminal enterprises, just like every other gang. I don't know why, because they wear suits and not bandanas. Is that your comparison?
Excuse me. I'm a suit wearer. I'm offended. B lady, yes, we see you, sweetheart. I'm trying to get through the chat, and God bless you. I know you've been sick, and I want to try and make arrangements to meet up with you, girl, because I'm here in Florida too.
Aw.
Mary says that's very true. What you're saying about the gangs and stuff like this, it's what I'm talking about. It's what I'm talking about, all the babbling information. B lady, I don't think it's a racist. I think it's because we have to support them, and we have poor folks already in our country that need help, like our vets.
Yes.
Rebecca,
And that's another thing we talked
not
about.
my
We could talk
business,
about
but
that
you
forever.
need to have some kind of way to tell her to let you to know to speak also. Oh, she's letting me speak, Mary. Okay, Olivia says, why are Hispanics and Black politicians created like Americans, but an American citizen like your husband or mine won't be? What? Why are Hispanic and Black politicians created like Americans, but an American citizen like your husband or mine won't be?
I don't know what that means.
Okay. Hispanic and Black politicians created like Americans. Maybe she means treated like Americans.
Treated like Americans? Oh,
Maybe she means treated like
great
Americans.
question. Well, that's 100% a great question.
You know what? People of color know this, that you always have to do more, do better. And I know this, again, because of the color of my skin, what someone of color goes through.
Yep.
I know that.
Yep.
So, B lady, okay. Okay, wait, I'm going to skip over that one, sweetheart. Then Eclipse says, maybe you should have voted then, Jerry. Yeah, I
voted. Okay, yeah, I probably should have. Wouldn't have made a difference because I would have went with mom. Mom would have went, and then we would have both voted against each other anyway. So thank you. Okay. I should never have said anything. I should have just kept my fucking mouth shut. Excuse my language. Sorry for cursing.
No. This
Sorry,
is this is going to be positive. We're going to keep positive.
I know. Wait, I'm positive. I used it in a positive way.
Yeah. Christine says the bishop made a donkey out of herself, is what I'm going to say there.
I don't agree.
Okay, right. But that is the point of this. We all are allowed in this chat to have our own opinion, and we're going to do it civilly and nicely. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, she didn't say or do anything how about your opinion, Rebecca? Did she say or do anything that was anti-Christian?
No, you know what? I can tell you this. I had to watch it a couple times because you know what I was distracted by was the media putting the camera on President Trump, the first lady, the vice president, and the second lady.
Yeah, everybody's reaction, yeah.
Yeah, I was distracted by that. So, and then when you hear the news commentators talking about it stuff and, oh, he's demanding an apology, he do it. It's like, well, wait a minute. What exactly did she say? So that's why, like, whenever I told you, you got to watch what she said. Because then I
thought it was a beautiful sermon. I thought it was a beautiful sermon.
But I had to see it again because, again, now, if the media wouldn't have done that, moved that camera over towards him and just focused on her, everybody would have said it was fantastic. Instead, the way that the different channels decided to broadcast it, they focused on his face. And I don't think that was fair. I thought that was a cheap
I also don't think he was making any faces when they were doing that. I was like, I don't see any that is normal. I don't give a crap about
no, but I'm saying for them, right. But even, well, he kind of tilted his head, which I didn't think was bad. But the way they portrayed him, they put the words in his mouth that he's mad, this and that. And then when I guess he came out and he wants an apology, then that is like breaking news. It's like, you guys, come on. If we're going to start,
well, they didn't put the words in his mouth. When he was asked right after the thing, he wouldn't answer. When he was right after the mass, he was asked what he thought about the sermon, and he wouldn't answer. He said, well, what do you think about it? Because that was not an answer. Did you like it? Did you hate it?
Here's the thing, though. If the news media, and I know the president was going to be on tonight on Hannity at 9 Eastern, if the news media is going to nitpick every single thing with him, the American public is going to miss out on a lot.
Well, and Rebecca, I have a question.
I
do. I have a quick question. And this isn't personal, and this isn't red and blue. How come we didn't feel this way for this last 4 years? How come we weren't hopeful for this last 4 years? How come we didn't give him a chance this last 4 years? You know, it's kind of like one of those things that I think to me, reelecting this president is like going back to an abusive ex. He said he's going to change. He said he's going to be better. Anybody who's ever had an abusive ex, you know what I'm saying? Where you could say, like, he said he's not going to cheat on me anymore. He said he's not going to hit me anymore. He said he's not going to be derogatory towards me anymore. As a Democrat, as a woman who's had her rights taken away in so many ways, and doesn't even have rights to begin with. The Equal Rights Amendment was never actually passed ever since the 70s.
Okay,
That's what it feels like to me.
But
Feels
wouldn't
like
you
going
agree,
back to
though?
abuse effects.
Wouldn't you agree that half the battle with anything in life, like, let's just use my hurricane situation right now, dealing with my insurance company still in January. Half of that battle is positive thinking. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I was just negative on everything they are not doing for me, like I made a joke earlier and I said, I've gotten to the point where I call my insurance company every day and waste hours just for fun, you know? But I try to look at it in a positive light.
That's how I lead every statement about the new administration. Is I say, I pray I'm wrong. I pray that he will not do the things that he says he's going to do because someone will step in and intervene. I pray he's not going to tear apart the cabinets that we have because they don't align with his thinking. I pray that he will come to some sense that this is not the right thing to do.
But do you believe, though, that even like within friendships, this is different because he's the leader of our country, that we need to just clear the slate and see what happens? Well, or if we stay divided, Democrats on one side, Republicans on the other, Democrats are never going to cross over to the Republican side. The Republicans a few times jumped over to the Democratic side. If we stay that way, what's going to be accomplished? What?
No, nothing. It hasn't in the last 18 years.
Exactly.
The only time anything's ever gotten accomplished in the United States of America is when one party has controlled all three branches of the government.
Well, I want to continue on here in the chat. The B lady says, Rebecca, the problem with the kids, because she was a school teacher, is they can't speak English. They can't do the work. So we had to slow everything down. Trust me, it was terrible. I understand what you're saying, B lady. I actually have a brother who is a teacher that went back or didn't go back, but went into the teaching field not that long ago. And he said, this is my brother Cups, Jerry, Mike. Yeah. And he said, if this is our future, we're in trouble. And because of how ill prepared kids are, how they've been passed along and stuff. And he does have only a few children in the school that he's at that don't speak English. And he said, I feel so bad for them because literally they're just thrown in. And he had one student translating for another one to help her. And he said, she's so well behaved. And, you know, she's sitting there and she's trying to learn and stuff. But he said, I just feel so bad for her because, you know, there's no way to communicate with her. Joe Mouse says, Jerry, I am enjoying watching you both. I believe you're trying to help us come together in this country. Amen. Olivia, this is the way I know. This is the way I know is because I work in a hospital and I talk with my patients about how they are going to take care of themselves after discharges. I've spoken to hundreds of illegal immigrants. They've told, we'll have to see what she says. There's B lady. Okay. Olivia says they told me everything they were getting from the government. Well, sweetheart,
Rebecca, this is the lady who said about the illegals get cards and benefits and housing and stuff.
You can verify it. You can call public aid if you want to. Call public aid, call for food stamps. I actually have done it to verify it, even though I read it online myself. Call Social Security. They will tell you, no, you have to either be. Now, she says she has seen their cash cards. Yes, there are.
Yes, but doesn't mean they're from the United States government. They could be from the local state government. They could be cash cards that are used for temporary assistance.
And they're either from a communist country and they've applied for political asylum. Is what it is.
Exactly. That's another thing. That's another thing you have to do. Good point, sweetheart. The other thing is like when there was floods and stuff. So when you had FEMA come out, were they giving out cash cards to like EBT cards for everybody just about who was affected?
Here?
To replace their food?
Here?
Yeah.
For me?
Well, not for you. So like the people who lost like their homes, did they get a temporary like $200 on an EBT card to get new food?
No, what they had it was either 2 or 3 days that you could go and apply from 7 a.m. until 5. and the line around the building was hundreds and hundreds of people.
Yeah.
So we didn't
That's
bother.
what it was after the hurricane in New York too.
Yeah.
But in New York, we never applied for food stamps. We never got food assistance, but they had these temporary EBT cards so that you lost everything in your refrigerator, plus your house. So you don't have any food. And you were lucky if the Red Cross truck was coming by with a hot meal once a day. And you were lucky if the Army Corps of Engineers was there to give you MREs, which are totally not healthy for you.
No, we didn't get anything like that either. Kat says again that she doesn't think that's what they're saying. They are saying if you are illegally, you have to go. That is very different than what you are saying, Jerry.
I don't know what she means.
Okay, hold on. B Lady says now they are put in the classrooms and folks are sending their children to private and charter schools. Actually, I can tell you, B Lady, here in Florida, the county that I live in, you can actually take your public tax dollars that would be used for your child. I have a lady that lives just a couple houses up that she didn't put her son in the public school. She actually has him in a Montessori school, and the difference that she has to pay is $35 a week. Oh no!
And the charter schools are no difference. They just get their funding from other sources. Yeah. My best friend teaches at a charter. I'm sorry.
B Lady says, "Oh no, we were brought here in chains to do work. No offense to anyone, as you may know or not know, I am Black." And yeah,
no, I didn't know that.
A whole
absolutely, yeah.
She is. Hi, Ella. Ella just came in. Let's see. And Olivia says, for me, it's about the fact that you broke the law. I don't care what happened in the 1800s with wars, etc. This is now. We have laws that need to be followed to keep a peaceful law society. I agree with that. There has to be rules, totally. But if you're going to be deporting people, if you're going to be making people leave here, my concern is that it's done in a humane way. Like even now, when you have illegals here that are from Mexico and want to go on home, don't detain them. Let them pass on through. Let them go. You know what I'm saying? Give them that chance. Give them like an amnesty time and say, if you want to go ahead and leave, go ahead. Because I know here where I live, what they do when they round you up, and we actually had a friend a few months ago, Leslie M., I think I told you about him, that illegal. He was picked up. He was in fourth time. He's from Guatemala. And so when he got picked up, he was put in the county jail. He was kept there. First, he had a bond, thought he was going to get out. Then the judge said, no bond. He was kept there. Our tax dollars are paying to house him in the county jail. He was there for a few months. Then they transferred him. They told him, if you're not picked up in 5 days by ICE, if you're not picked up, we're going to let you go. Well, because it was his fourth time, guess what? He was picked up. He was shipped down to Miami then. So then he's put in jail in Miami. He was kept there for several months before he was finally deported back to Guatemala. And now he says, we heard through someone else, that it's going to take him about 6 months to come back, because to come back, it's going to cost him $15,000. It's like, stay in Guatemala, dude. That's my answer. Yeah. Personally, I don't see Mexicans as Black. She must be responding to somebody else. Jerry, you also voted for President Trump. Eclipse must be talking to Olivia James.
Not one time in my whole life. Wait, go back. I absolutely never in my entire life even voted. I don't even watch The Apprentice, sweetheart. The only time I liked President Trump was when he was in Home Alone 2. Thank you. Sorry. I just very offended by that, unfortunately.
B Lady says folks who come over the Mexican border are not all from Mexico. They are from Colombia and Venezuela, even Cuba. Like I said, we have friends from Cuba that crossed over, and lots of gangs. Actually, most of the gangs really like to stay on that side where they're already structured and stuff. Yeah. And then they can pass their drug. Like today, a tunnel was just found that went into El Paso, 6 miles long, 4 feet wide.
And they fly over. They fly over undetected. They have money. They're not going to stand and wade through water and river and stand in a line with a bunch of other people. Unfortunately,
They don't
Yeah,
have
they jump on their little puddle hoppers and they land somewhere in the middle of the Arizona desert where nobody's detecting them. I mean,
Jerry,
I'm not trying to pretend like it's a movie or anything, but that's the truth. I know
Jerry,
people from
ask
Arizona.
yourself why a country in Mexico that voted like 90% Democratic since the 1800s voted for Trump because they were in the midst of an immigration catastrophe. B Lady says,
You want
are
me
we
to ask
talking?
myself that?
That's
I'm
what
sorry,
she
Rebecca.
said.
She said, ask myself why.
Yeah, ask yourself why a country. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't believe they did. The rally that President Trump had the night before his inauguration, he pretty much said that Elon Musk would fucked with the computers in Pennsylvania. If you want to go back and see it, you can, and you can interpret it any way you want. And I'm sorry I cursed again. I don't know how else to describe that. But that's pretty much what he said. Like, like an abusive husband who's there's a thing in New York, and I just want to we learn sarcasm at a very early age. I know he's from New York. That's why I'm saying this. It's not just me. We learn sarcasm. We learn how to read each other's tones and looks. And that's how you know about the mafia in New York, because if somebody gives you the wrong look or gives you the rub on the nose on the wrong side, you got to watch out. This is true things. This isn't me. At least in the Crips in the hood, you go, the guy's got red, the guy's got blue. You try not to fuck with them. But, you could be anybody looking like anything in the mob in New York. And you have to watch. You have to watch what you say and how you say it, and these innuendos and these threats. I don't believe that President Trump won this last election. I know nobody wants to investigate because of all of the crap from 2020, and I get it, but I don't get it. There is no possible way in my mind, unless it's sexist and racist, that states that voted in every Democratic seat on the ticket except the president. I don't believe that. I don't.
Okay. Well, but Jerry, that's going to be another topic, because even B Lady
okay.
says
well,
right
she
now,
asked me the question. That's my answer. I don't believe it. So
are we talking about what we expect under Trump or Mexicans? Just a tad confused. B Lady, I mentioned Mexicans because of what we are fearful for, but hopeful in our own family, under the Trump administration. Christine says all immigrants should be vetted before entering our country. There should be no illegal immigrants in our country, period. Olivia, ask yourself why fentanyl trafficking went up 800% after the border was open. Ask yourself why 325,000 migrant children are missing.
I don't know about the migrant children right this second, but the drugs didn't go up that much. Go into the DEA's website, DEA.gov, and you will see that that's an untrue statistic.
Yeah, well, and again, okay, but again, that's another topic. I really want to know what people are worried about, concerned about, and on the positive side, what you're excited about.
Well, I guess she was excited about there being less fentanyl in the government.
Yeah. Okay, Zuli says, hi, Zuli. My daughter today ran into immigration ICE and asked them questions. They said they weren't there to pick up just anybody. They had to be criminals or gang related only. That's what they told her.
In her school?
Where'd she run into them? Where. And she says she's in Northern California. But where was that at, Zuli? Because I know there were hundreds of people picked up today. But where was that at, sweetheart? B Lady, has she been to Colombia? I have. Our daughter-in-law is from Colombia, and that place is terrible with drugs and gangs. I have personally been there to see it 100%. Y'all are reading my concerns 10 minutes after I replied to a particular thing. To a particular thing you said. Olivia, it's the lag, sweetheart. I'm scrolling through. I'm reading every single one, so I'm sorry.
She's doing as fast as she can. I cannot see. I am blind, so I cannot help her.
Leslie says, I don't think so. She has been to Mexico many times. Who are we talking about? Me? Oh, yeah. Several times. Lots and lots of times, and I'll be going back again. Zuli says, pretty close. Yes, I am close to the fires. They're on the other side of the freeway, and I'm okay at this point. Well, thank you, Jesus, for that. Pretty much, smoke was going to the other side. Okay, I'm trying to get through here. They call those people who like to kill and torture people sicarios. Yep, that's right, Julie.
Yeah.
That's right. You are right.
Yeah.
Francine, hi, Francine. How are you, sweetheart? Hi, okay, Francine, here we go. Our son's 100% black, and he is now a senior VP of a huge bank. It's all about education experience. Amen to that one. But I would like to know, we have got 35 people here right now. What are your concerns and what are your positive things? What are you excited about
What are you
in
looking
this
forward to?
administration? Yeah.
What are
Olivia
you looking
Jane.
forward to for sure?
Jerry, the other thing that is major capitalized problem is that illegal immigrants are costing us $150, no, not $150, $150 billion. We need legal migration reform, not reckless open borders.
We don't have
Rebecca,
reckless open borders, and I don't know what $150 billion you think is going to. Most of the money going to Homeland Security for ICE is for the officers. It's not for the detention centers. I'm very confused where the numbers are coming from, but I'd love to know. Do you guys have
Kat,
any articles you want me to read? Or
Kat says that swearing is not first lady like. I did not swear.
no, I did. I'm the former first lady, so I don't give two hoots. I'm in retirement.
I
Remember,
do not say
Michelle
bad
Obama
words.
was from Chicago, people. She knows all the words.
Okay, Zuli says, and ICE immigration also told my daughter that if there are people running, then they'll go and check on them. People, why are they running? Just be calm. They said, be yourself, and you should be fine.
Well,
Okay.
I hope so.
Yeah. Well, the bee lady says, auction time. Hey, good to see you. My necklace is more lovely than that looked on. I can't watch. I feel great. Thank you. She's talking to Francine. Okay. Olivia says, at the bee lady, I'm sick of people trying to pat themselves on the back with racist DEI to help us blacks and Hispanics, like we aren't smart enough to obtain success on our own. Okay, DEA is not necessarily that. Yeah, but I mean DEI, not DEA. Olivia again says we can do that. What they can do given the chance. We were raised to know that we had to have advanced degrees, etc., to succeed. That's what B Lady says. Eclipse, Rebecca, I appreciate your professionalism, class, and balanced demeanor.
That's because you would encourage Rebecca. That's what she meant.
Thank you. Oh, okay. Well, thank you. No, but because you know what? Here's the thing, though, for everybody who's listening, again, I want this to be a safe, open forum where you can say negative things in a positive way, if that makes sense.
Sure. Yep.
Or say you're positive. Again, this is not pro-Trump. It's not anti-Trump. He is, and I hate even saying Trump, but we should be saying President Trump. He's referred to a lot as Trump. Whoever is in office should be referred to as the president. It makes for a hostile environment where people wonder if we earned our spot. It also makes us question ourselves. Do we get it because we have the skills and merit? Olivia, exactly. That's what I said. We've been through several situations in our lifetime, and we also have children.
Is she referring to the DEI? Is that what she said?
Yeah. Well, she was talking about the DEI. Yeah, the DEI.
Oh, okay.
So, but do you want to explain that as I scroll through the comments what the DEI is?
Oh yeah, the
diversity, equity, and
inclusion.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't just affect people of color. It doesn't just affect women. It doesn't just affect people of the LGBTQIA plus community. It also affects those with mental disabilities and developmental disabilities, and anybody who is not normal. How we use not normal, not average developing, who is not an average statistical person. They're outside of the average statistical white, European white, I should say.
Anglo.
What, hon?
Anglo.
Yeah, who's outside of that purview, who there's a department that helps them get included when they're excluded because of their color of their skin or their.
Gary,
what I'm saying?
Can I interrupt just 1 second?
Sure.
Zuli, we have made a copy of his certificate, shrunk it down so that yes, he has it with him, also in his car, because like I said, we do not need any problems or my husband detained anywhere. Go ahead and continue, Jerry, and I'm going to step away just for a second, honey, okay?
Okay. Yeah, so it's not just about, like I said, it's not just about people of color. It's not just about people of different races and ethnicities. It's also about people with different um, economical status. It's about people with different educational status, like, again, developmental delays, those types of people. I worked at AHRC Nassau for 15 years, and inclusion was a big, huge part of what we did, because we, they're just American citizens, just like the rest of us. They're included. We want to make sure. Do you all know the difference between equity and equality? I'm wondering, and I'm not trying to be. I've been told that I can sometimes come across as pompous, arrogant, or derogatory. I'm just trying to be a teacher. Do you guys know the difference between equity and equality? Equality is the same thing given to everyone. Equity is what we all need to be on the same level. So a perfect example, what I saw for a visual example was there was a fence and there were people of all different heights standing in front of the fence, and these people could not see over the fence, and they called that equality. Everybody got a chance to stand behind the fence and watch the parade. However, the equity is those people who are shorter were given boxes to stand up so that they could see over the fence. So that's the difference. So equality is us all getting the same thing, but is that, did I just fudge up my words? Equity and equality, right? Equality is us all getting the same benefits. Equity is us getting the benefits we need to come to the same level, whether it's education or whether it's a financial help or whether it's even environmental. If you live in a place, you grow up on a farm that now is destitute and like dry as all get out, and you can't grow your crops anymore. What can we do to give that person, bring in new water, bring in new soil, whatever we can do to make that person as good as the person next to him, give him the benefits he needs to bring up his position. So I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Mary Ramirez said that people that haven't voted shouldn't talk.
Mary Ramirez, I vote every election. I didn't go to this election because my mother-in-law and I were not feeling well. I don't want to go over this over again. I do.
It doesn't.
vote.
It doesn't mean specifically you, Jerry. You know what I'm saying?
Who is she talking about?
She's just making a statement. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I think she's
just
talking
making a
about me,
statement.
Rebecca.
Yeah. No. And again,
I'm the only person talking who didn't go to the election this year.
Yeah, but I mean, and for those of you who don't know, Jerry does have cancer. So she has good days, bad days. If she didn't do mail in, whatever. Again, as an American, that's her right. Some countries you can't even vote. Women can't vote, whatever. So, but that is her right. We're going to stay on a positive note here. We're not going to pick at people, say bad things. That is not the reason for doing the show, for doing Girls Night In. It's to share ideas. And again, we just don't understand because we've always had freedom. We've always been able to say what we want. So we don't value that. But we are so blessed to be able to come on YouTube and to talk with people of all ages, colors, you know what I'm saying? Poor, rich, whatever. So I want to do it in a positive way. I always believe in, even a bad person bringing out their good to raise them up. And so I don't want people being negative here.
Sure.
You just because you say something that doesn't go along with what Jerry's saying or I'm saying, that doesn't mean it's negative. There's a right way to put it in there. So
exactly.
I appreciate
and the same goes for me. Just because I say something that doesn't go along with what you believe, it doesn't mean I'm being negative either.
Okay. Let's see. Julie says no more political asylum for anybody coming across the borders. He stopped that, President Trump. Something. I don't know what she said. And then
is that one of his 100 non-executive orders today?
Trump is going to North
I'm sorry.
Carolina in the next week or so. They are all still suffering from a disaster hurricane that happened months ago. They were giving nothing under Biden, nothing. Well, you know what, Christine? I can personally tell you, I'm here in Florida. I'm still dealing with stuff from October 9th from Hurricane Milton. My own insurance company, I finally made contact with them, verbal contact, on January 8th. January 8th. Storm came October 9th. I heard from a person on January 8th. I've had several inspections, inside inspections, roof inspections, structural engineers, the whole bit. They just ordered them and sent them all out. But contact with somebody January 8th. FEMA, their hands are tied because they can't step in to try and help you with what the insurance it hasn't until your insurance makes a decision. So there's
They
people
also
everywhere
were.
that are left in
They,
limbo, not just in North Carolina. So,
they
but
also tried. Oh, sorry. They also put a proposal for an emergency increase, because the storms were so bad after North Carolina, and it was not voted upon because of the they shut down the early session for the holidays before they wanted to
Christine
vote on it.
says,
So
I'm not sure what she's talking about, what subject, but she said, Christine, he did not, Jerry. You're the one who needs to get the facts straight. Eclipse says, I'm from New York City. We do not behave that way. B Lady says,
you
I'm
don't
from New
curse in
York
New York
State
City?
and I live on a farm and I'm not like that.
Oh,
Olivia.
wait, we don't curse in New York City? Is that what she's saying? Is that what she's talking about?
I don't know.
Cursing?
I'm trying to
Oh.
get through the chat. Star
Well, I know, but if you
County in
don't, just
Texas
read the
hasn't
chat and we
voted
don't talk about it, that doesn't make sense to me anyway.
hasn't voted red since 1892. That's the county I'm talking about, and it's 97% Hispanic. Mary Ramirez, I'm worried about more of a division in our country from both sides. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Eclipse says, laughing about fentanyl. Christine says, you have your rigged elections wrong, Jerry. 2020 was stolen from Trump. That's no longer a secret. The whole map was red. This election, he won by a landslide, and I'm hopeful that the next 4 years will pass by very quickly. Is what Mary says. Kat says, I'm on the DEA website. Where would I find it, Jerry? I don't see it. Olivia James, I'm not upset.
Oh.
You are reading the comments later. It's just that Jerry doesn't know where we are coming from in our comments because the time has paused. I apologize about that, Olivia. Unfortunately, there's a lag. You know what I'm saying? She said, why we didn't have to be reckless with open borders. How did 10 million plus people get here?
I'm sorry?
We didn't have to be.
Olivia, no, she asked a question. She said, we didn't have reckless, if we didn't have reckless open borders, how did 10 million plus people get here? Eclipse says, better food prices, internet.
They came on visas and never went home. It's a question.
You know what?
I have to answer it. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, some people did. I know, again, another couple that we know from Cuba, they paid for in-laws to come from Cuba. And this was a few years back, but they brought them here for a vacation. They liked it so much in America. They had to pay the travel agent to get their ticket after they had paid to get them a visa. So they paid someone off, basically. So then when they came here, they loved it so much. They stayed a year and a day. And guess what? A year and a day, they got their green cards. So, yeah. Eclipse says better food prices, interest rates, insurance rates, education, and reform. Eclipse, I am right in your boat. Joe Mouse says, I am worried that hate speech has become acceptable. Hate speech usually comes from a hateful heart. Leslie says, that's so true. The Bee Lady at my cozy nest. Rebecca, Trump is shutting down the DEA as soon as possible. Actually, well, he closed it down today at 5:00 p.m., but they are on paid leave. So
wait,
I wish somebody gave me a check to be on paid leave.
She said the DEA, Rebecca?
Oh, the DEI. I'm sorry, the DEI.
I'm sorry. It's okay.
I keep saying DEA. Yeah, JA, the Division of Developmental Disabilities. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get to everybody. Olivia, I'm looking forward to a safer border, a stronger military, a president that wants peace across the world and lower prices. Amen to that. Amen to that. Hi, Ethel. Welcome. Olivia says,
That Ethel Reed?
yes, equity
sorry.
is equal outcome.
Yes.
Olivia, no matter what, if you put the work in or not, you get the same outcome with equity. I'm not a fan. Laura
And that's
Ashley
not
says,
true.
okay, well, I'm just reading comments right now.
Oh, no,
Laura
no. I'm
Ashley
just,
says she
I'm
agrees.
responding to her comment. That's all.
Eclipse agrees. B Lady says, Rebecca, is Jerry blind or what they call legally blind? She's wearing glasses. Yes, that is correct. She is. And Jerry also has B Lady. She has stage 4 cancer. She talks about driving on her channel, so not sure what kind of blind that is. Well, it's
I
with
have
her
macular
reading.
edema and diabetic retinopathy, and I can't see the middle. So I can't work like this. I have to make words this big to read them. And I can see out of my peripheral. So it doesn't affect my driving. Unless I want to read the guy's license plate in front of me, which I shouldn't be that close anyway.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And trust me, either text messages to Jerry need to be voice, or if they're written, good luck getting a response back instantly. It doesn't happen because she's got to be able to read it. And I forget that sometimes.
That's
You know, I'm
okay.
just so used to sending a text, and it's like, oh, shoot, I should have sent a
Rebecca,
voice.
it was a lot easier and you got them a lot faster when my iPad wasn't broken. Because I could zoom in on my iPad, you know. I can't do that on my phone.
Yeah, yeah.
That
Well, you know
part's
what?
hard.
We have to, though, as a country, like even in the chat, the chat is just a little stick of a needle compared to the country. And we have to come together as people. And again, allow people, respect them when they have their thoughts, if it's not the same as yours. You know,
Sure.
that's what makes America great, is that we're able to communicate, have conversations and stuff, work, live, and play with people that we might not, have in our own family or, be a close friend with, but we can still communicate, share ideas and stuff, and come together on the important things. Because I can tell you, my own personal belief is that for several years now, we have looked like idiots to the rest of the world with the Democrats and the Republicans fighting.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
And we're not getting anything done.
B Lady says, Rebecca, give us time. We will win Jerry over to our side.
Oh, that's not going to happen, sweetheart.
She gave you a kiss and a hug. B Lady's a sweet, sweet lady. She's a sweet lady. And
B Lady, I want to tell you that I have a very, very large family, Irish Catholic large family, and I am a minority being a Democrat. If they haven't won me over by now, you're not gonna, unfortunately. Thank you for trying, though.
yeah, I never know.
I was raised Catholic, and I believe in the principles of Catholicism as far as charity is concerned. And I don't find that in a lot of Christians in America today. I don't find that Jesus's teachings of turn the other cheek and blessed are thee who are the least of these, and those types of lessons that we learned. I don't believe that American Christians, or a lot of Christians in America, follow the teachings of Jesus. I think they follow the teachings of their pastors and their ministers and other Christians. And I think that we've got lost here. Got lost here. I don't understand, as a Catholic growing up, how Christians are conservative. Like, that part blows my mind, because we were growing up like it's charity. Everybody that's what you do. You take care of those who are falling down. That's the way we were raised, and it's hard for me to wrap my head around anything but. So, I apologize. I'm not coming over to your side.
Says that she's a Catholic also. Olivia says we have positions like AOC spreading lies about Elon, saying he gave the Hitler sign. Oh, geez.
You did. Did you see it?
It's hold on. It's very hard to bring people together when lies like that are being spread. Mary says,
wait, hold on. I saw it. It was at the rally on Sunday night, and it's on all over social media. You can just look it up. Okay, so it's not. It's she didn't lie about it. It's what he did.
Okay, Mary says
He went
the
just
whole
like
thing.
that.
The whole thing about communication and be able to pay attention. If you have to listen and you have to respond with respect, also. Amen. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
amen. That there is a way to agree to disagree and have an adult, intelligent, respectful conversation. You know, Eclipse, laugh out loud. The bee lady, Olivia. Okay, she is something. Okay, Eclipse. That was Eclipse says that was AI. Jerry, I saw it, and he said, "I give my heart to you."
What was AI?
Him doing the Hitler thing.
Oh, okay.
The bee lady, Jerry, go back to the early days of public schools in our country when children pledged allegiance. They used the Hitler salute.
No, we didn't.
Not.
Who
Okay.
does she think did that?
I'm reading the chat.
Oh,
Christine.
I'm asking her. I'm asking her to
Okay,
answer
yeah.
back. How? Oh,
Christine
sorry, go ahead.
says, I don't understand how, if you're Catholic, Jerry, you can call a fetus a parasite. Well, she didn't do that tonight, and we are not getting on that topic. No. This is supposed to be, again, a celebration for our country, that we have a new president that has just taken office, and what our concerns are, what our excitements are, what our positivity. We're not going into the religion thing, not tonight. And videos have now came out with AOC doing the same thing at one of her rallies. Yes, Jerry should be respectful too. Let's take a shower saying that. Christine, not true about Elon. He was throwing his heart out to the audience. I wish he'd throw me out some
That's a
money.
different
girl.
clip. Use two hands to throw his heart out to the audience. That's a different clip.
Mary Ramirez says, yes, that's what I meant. It has to come both ways. She answers in a condescending way. No, well, sometimes it can be taken that way. I don't think she's trying to be condescending at all.
No,
Elon
not at
put his
all.
hand on his heart, shot his arm out and brought it back to his heart and said, I give my heart to you. Be real.
Okay.
Hi, Tracy. Things change drastically when the face-to-face to conversation. Wait, things change drastically when face-to-face conversation. They can hide behind the keyboard. Yep, that is so true. And try reading the keyboard right now. She was from my heart to you all, not Hitler. Sorry, is what Tracy said. Christine says she brought up the religion. I know, Christine, but I just don't want to. Again, I wanted to just try and focus on. We just had our new president sworn in on Monday, and I just wanted to try, if we can, to stay on that. We can. I don't know if I want to cover abortion, but when you girls have ideas for Girls Night In, you can email me. You can put it in the chat, and I will be happy, as long as it's not extreme, to consider it. I had Girls Night In as a talk show several years ago. Then I had my accident, and then I was off. Then I was bringing it back. I had a couple shows, and then we were hit with the hurricane. So, yeah, but I will definitely try to cover any topics that you want to on Girls Night In. Again, as long as we are respectful and kind to each other, and we can agree or disagree. Okay. Yeah. Jerry, the controversy over the Nazi salute in schools lied to a Supreme Court case in 1940. Yes, Jerry, the Nazi salute was used in public schools in the United States in the past.
I never heard that my whole life. Did you, Rebecca?
To be honest, no. I have not, but it gives me something to look into. I love learning. Yeah. I absolutely love reading and learning.
I can't imagine public schools. I mean, if you had like a religious school or parochial school that might do it, but that's weird.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know about you guys, but it's been a fun, interesting time. And I know we've gotten off track a few times, but again, if you want to continue this conversation, or you have a topic that you want, email me. I'll get it scheduled for the future. We'll be on again next Wednesday. And
Rebecca, do you have to go? Because I was going to ask you a question, if that's okay.
Oh yeah, no, we can stay. Yes. Here, let me
Oh,
just
I
read.
just
Tracy's our
oh,
last person. People need to be respectful and allow everyone the right their own feelings. Live your life as good humans and be kind to all. Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. Okay. You
As
can ask me.
Christians, we're called to love. As Christians, we're called to love others as we love ourselves and as we love Jesus. And definitely, hate speech is not part of that at all. So, I was going to ask you, Rebecca. Other than the immigration, is there anything that you're looking forward to or that you're scared about? I know you asked me
Well,
when we first started.
actually, what I'm I'm looking forward to and I'm hoping for is I think that President Trump is excited that he's back in the White House, and I think that he feels that he needs to do things for people. So I'm hopeful and looking forward to him doing things that will affect our direct lives. That like we
Okay.
have never worked harder in our lives and ever been as poor as we are now, if that makes any
Gotcha.
sense at all.
Oh, sure.
And
100%.
and we are again almost at retirement. I'm going to be 60 years old in a couple weeks. I shouldn't be working as hard as I am, and I'm
No.
always working, you know.
Yeah.
And so I'm just hoping that there'll be some things that will be put into place. Again, if he could see now, and B lady saying if he could send us a $1,400 check. That's what I said earlier, honey, that if we could, get one of those checks again, my gosh, it would be a savior right now. We all
The
have things
stimulus.
that are going on, in our lives, and some money right now would help for everybody. Absolutely
Yeah,
everybody. So, but
that's for sure.
life has never ever been harder than it is now. So, and I
Yeah.
just wish, like, I want my mind to rest. I catch myself that I'm always stressed, because it's always like,
Yeah.
it's so sad. I came to my house the other day from the hotel. I came to the house and I went to flip on the light. And the first thing I said is, oh my gosh, did I pay the electric bill? I thought the lights were off. So, I mean, that's sad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's sad.
I know.
But I was
I,
panicked right
I,
away, like, oh my God, did I forget it? But no, it was there was just a delay in the light coming on. So, but
one of the things we didn't talk about was the tariffs and how they're really going to raise prices for us. Do you think that it will? That be is that a concern for you?
oh, the tariffs? Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. But you know what? We can end here now on tariffs. And if you're available for next weekend, we can pick next Wednesday. Not
Well,
for the
next
weekend.
Wednesday is the KCA.
What is
We
it?
meet once a month with the KCA, the Kidney Cancer Association. We have a patient portal that we meet once a month to talk to, like a support group.
Oh, okay.
The
Okay.
last Wednesday of every month we talk. So that's why next week I won't be available, but we can do the week after.
We can do it the week after, then I'll pencil
Yeah,
you in.
first week in February.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That'll be perfect.
Okay.
So for everybody
Yeah.
that's here in the chat, and actually the tariffs are supposed to take place on February 1st for Mexico and Canada. So that would be
Yep.
perfect. And if you guys want to, Olivia says, what did Olivia say? I'm sorry, I don't want to miss you, honey. Olivia says, did the tariffs raise prices for us last time? Okay, well,
Yes.
we're going to discuss it.
Yes, they did.
Not next week,
Oh.
but the following weekend.
Okay.
Not tonight, Jerry. But we will
No, it's okay.
discuss it
I was
then.
just asking a question.
Yep. In 2 weeks, we will discuss it. And
Yeah, we could do that.
I will see about doing something else. I don't know, trying to change the time on the chat thing so that we can get B Lady says, heck, let's take over Canada. So, but I will see about getting the chat faster so that I can see it, because I apologize. I want everybody to be a part of this, so that you can talk. And I know that it's hard whenever you're writing. And if you're somebody that I can talk to during the week and know that you're like a person that can carry on a conversation, I'll be glad to have you up on the panel, so that way instead of you having to type, you can actually talk.
Exactly.
So, but just email me, Mr. Cutie's mom. Mr. is MR. So it's MRCUTIESMOM @gmail. Email me
Mr.
and
Cutie.
Yeah, Mr. Cutie's mama. Or Mr. Cutie's mom, not mama.
Mom,
but
yeah.
Mr. Cutie's mom, yes. For the email.
And if anybody wants to continue to talk to me, you can always reach me by email. It's actually Mrs. Garthb2@gmail.com. Mrs. like the word Mrs. like somebody got married. Garth like Garth Brooks. B like Brooks and the number 2, because I was supposed to be the second Garth Brooks wife, but you know, he picked Trisha instead. So at gmail.com. If you guys want to email me, I actually probably get to emails faster than text messages these days, because I can do that on my husband's tablet. I can't do text messages on my husband's tablet. But yeah, if you guys want to discuss anything with me or ask me about my sources, like if you're interested in where I got my facts from. Oh, by the way, the DEA thing was right on the website. It was showed about fentanyl arrests and how much poundage they get and all that stuff was right on the bottom of the front page of the DEA's website, to answer that question. And yeah, you can always, I'd love to chat with you. I will tell you that when I have my bad days, I don't even want to do anything but listen to audiobooks. So if you can have patience with me, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, you've been great tonight, Jerry, and thank you so much for coming. And
Thank you,
like I
sweetheart.
said, I appreciate how intelligent you are and your insight on stuff. And that's what makes America great, is that we are allowed to express ourselves as individuals. You know,
without it being an argument, right? I mean, it's just the discussion, not a debate. All right, love you, Becca.
Exactly.
Bye, everybody.
I love
for
you.
joining us.
Thank you so much. Then we will
You're
bring
very
this
welcome.
up again. Not next week. Next week will be a different topic here on Girls Night In. The following week, then the first week in February, we're going to be on. Jerry will be on, and we will be discussing tariffs and everything else after that. I have a auction on Saturday night here. It'll be at 9:00 on this channel. If you want to come for some fun and fabulous, right here, 9:00 Saturday. Love you, and thank you so much for coming, guys.
Bye.
Bye.